Hello ladies and gentlemen, you're watching NDTV. The political war between the DMK and the BJP has often been about ideology, identity and language. This time it has spilled over to universities, and the call of the DMK to oppose the centre's draft UGC Rules 2025 has in fact found support beyond Tamil Nadu. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has joined Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin in criticizing provisions of the new regulations. Pinarayi Vijayan, in fact, today presented a resolution in the Kerala Assembly demanding withdrawal of the guidelines. Just to give you the context to this, Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, has said that certain sections of these new rules are in conflict with the state's education system and policies, and that they challenge the integrity, autonomy and development of state-run universities. He has in fact written to Chief Ministers of states not ruled by the BJP or its allies, asking them to pass resolutions similar to those passed by his government on the 9th of January. Now, the DMK has particularly flagged sections that include a clause about the selection and appointment of vice-chancellors of state-run universities. Now, that has been a contentious subject in both Tamil Nadu and in Kerala and other states as well. But the centre has said that the draft UGC regulations reflect a broader move towards inclusivity, flexibility and an expanded definition of merit in academia, while the DMK says that these draft regulations would affect Tamil Nadu's higher education, which is driven by social justice. So is this a reform being politicized for the sake of it? Are our higher education institutes becoming battleground for political parties? Do some parts of these rules actually need a rethink? Do they actually empower the governors and undermine the autonomy of the elected state government? Many questions there. We'll try answering some of them. We have a panel of esteemed guests, but first let's look at some political reactions.
The current UGC guidelines regarding appointment of the vice chancellors to the university has completely taken away the rights of the elected state governments. So the education which is in the concurrent list, the union government is practically taking things in the concurrent list into union list, which has to be opposed, which is again the spirit of cooperative federalism, and the justification given by the UGC or the supporters of this draft is totally unacceptable.
As far as these UGC new rules are concerned, it is definitely against the state rights. But rather than exploring the different means and options, particularly the legal option, and trying to set an example for others, Mr. Stalin trying to paint a picture as if this is a national movement and trying to elevate himself clearly indicates his political interest rather than his interest for the welfare of the people and rather than interest of the state rights. It clearly indicates the mispriorities of Stalin with respect to handling any situation that affects the state rights.
Well, joining us now is Narayanan Tirupati, who is the Vice President of the BJP Tamil Nadu. We have Saravanan Annadurai, who is the spokesperson of the DMK. We have Sumant Raman, political analyst, and we also have Jayaprakash Gandhi, who is an educationist. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. To you, Saravanan Annadurai, first. The UGC regulations also propose significant changes to India education system. In fact, I was looking at Jagdish Kumar, what he has said on this. It also seems like there is flexibility being brought in for students. I'm asking you this question: is this attempt, is this opposition to these rules? Is it only restricted to certain clauses because that involve the governor's powers, or do you have a problem with the entire set of rules?
See, with regard to this UGC draft guidelines, first and foremost, we are opposed to the fact that it impinges on the federal structure of our constitution. The Supreme Court has made it very, very clear that if the union government wants to do something on a subject which is on the concurrent list, they'll have to get the approval of the parliament. Now the UGC, which is an instrument of the union government, through just executive orders, trying to make amends in the list which is in the concurrent list, subjects which are in the concurrent list. When we speak about the appointment of the vice chancellors, the power right now is vesting with the state governments, and this new UGC guideline takes it away from the state government and directly hands it over to the chancellor, who is the governor. See, these statutes of all these state universities were pre-independence. So we have been following them, that the vice chancellor, the chancellor would be the governor. Taking how the BJP, after the BJP has come into power, they are trying to usurp the powers of the state government, especially in education, because they want to control. The policy of the RSS is to deprive the oppressed class of education, deny access to education to them. That is why we had need. And now they want to take away the autonomy that has been enjoyed by these universities by making them a puppet of the union government. Okay. The governors, especially the governors of the opposition ruled states, they have been playing absolute mockery over these rules. And in the state of Tamil Nadu, 6 vice chancellors have not been appointed yet because the governor does not want to play by the book. We have approached the Supreme Court and it is pending before the Supreme Court. Okay. So the Chief Minister, our Chief Minister,
Mr. Tirupati, these are valid points that Saravanan has also raised, and only recently B.V. Nagaratna, who's also a Supreme Court judge, criticized governors for either overstepping their constitutional role or failing to act effectively. Are some of the people who are being appointed by the centre, and this has happened in the past also, are they not being able to transcend party politics? Because even recently what Mr. R.N. Ravi did, walking out of the assembly, or the fact that 6 universities are without any vice chancellors, these are certain things that could have been avoided, so that the centre also puts forward an image of completely being pro-Tamil, something that will also help you electorally, isn't it?
No, see, first of all, I deny what all you said now, because the problem of not appointing 6 vice chancellors doesn't lie with the governor. The state government has not cooperated. That is the main reason the 6 vice chancellors are not there. So we expect the government to cooperate with the chancellor, that is who is the governor. And this is what is happening in Tamil Nadu. In fact, last 20-25 years, most of the vice chancellors who were influenced by the state governments are either in jail or in bail. Most of the vice chancellors, we have to understand, because they have only politicized these appointments of vice chancellors. And this is a shame, because in the educational system this is happening. But what is UGC? The purpose of UGC is to have a equal, distributed education system. So that is a unique education system throughout the country, and there is nothing wrong, because one nominee of the visitor or chancellor and nominee of a chairman UGC, and also a nominee of the apex body, syndicate, executive council, who are appointed by the state government itself, are there in this. So out of 3, state government has got 1. So what is your problem? Why do you feel that the governor or the chancellor may impose a person, or UGC may impose a person? It is not so. The purpose of UGC is to give an equal right and an equal education system throughout the country.
Right.
I am very clear that the DMK and
before I go to Mr. Gandhi, this is a valid point that Mr. Tirupati has raised. One nominee from the centre, Saravanan, is that that big a problem?
See, why do we need a nominee from the central government? The universities are run by the state government. The universities are run out of the government funds, state government funds. The union government does not pitch in. So the UGC, which is a body which looks after the syllabus, why does it want to meddle with the administration of the university?
Okay, let me get Jayaprakash Gandhi here.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Just a minute. Just 10 seconds to me. See, in Gujarat, we have moved a bill which says, remove the governor. Let's remove the governor as the chancellor. In Gujarat, in 2013, a bill was moved. Okay. And in 2014, when Mr. Modi became the Prime Minister, he ensured now in Gujarat, in all the state universities, the Chief Minister is the Chancellor.
Gandhi, the question here is also, while the rules seem well intended to me, because there is at least some flexibility. Can a governor have more powers when it comes to appointment of VC? That's what DMK is also alleging. So there are certain, the centre is responsible for setting standards, the state is responsible for supervising universities. Does that need to, in some ways, is that being threatened, sir? How do you see these rules?
See, first of all, education is in concurrent list. Any major decision should be taken by the central government, should be in concurrent with approval of state government, the first thing. The second biggest thing we always as an education is we say any major changes, regulation should be brought in 12 months in advance. You cannot say the last minute that we are going to have a centralized examination, we are going to like this. No, a student when he entered 12th standard, he should know what is his end evaluation process. So that they need to really postpone. They shouldn't implement immediately. Because most of the students in Tamil Nadu doesn't know what is even CUET exam, the Common University Entrance. Nobody is prepared for it. So another thing, the Vice Chancellor appointments should be equal power between the state government and also to the governor. See, remember, all the universities 90% funded are by the state government. They should work according to the higher education department state policies. And you cannot have somebody who can, because the term is only 3 years. So that is very difficult. Another big point in that, even a non-academician can become a vice chancellor. That has never been acceptable. No, it is not possible at all. Should be an academician, should have a very strong academic background. Otherwise, Indian research will definitely fall. Already, it's already in the downland list. That's why none of the universities are on the top national level. Now, one more thing. See, another thing is, there are some good points in the new regulation. I really appreciate the intake of 2 years, twice in a year, and the principal term should be 5 years, flexibility of doing it. All these are acceptable. But there are few things are politicized. That's what we are doing.
Okay, so the educationist here says that it's a mixed bag. Sumant Raman, we've seen multiple standoffs between state governments and their governors. But tell me, how do you read the politics of this? Because it seems to me that the DMK is also giving out issues for the India bloc to raise. But how will, in some ways, how will this benefit the DMK, given that it seems to be, it seems to be helping them electorally, at least in creating this image that the center is not, completely pro people of Tamil Nadu, which could be, completely misleading also. But is it helping the DMK electorally?
No. Clearly, it is helping the DMK. But the bottom line is whether there is some merit in what is being made out or not. And let's face it, these are state universities. These are not central universities where the state government is asking for its nominee to be appointed. These are state universities. The governor is eventually signing off on the appointment. So it's not that the governor is being completely ignored and being pushed out of the picture. There is a committee which is formed. The committee shortlists some names. Then there is an interview process which is gone through. So I think that, saying that we want our nominee there and all that, I don't see what purpose it actually serves, because the criteria for appointment of vice chancellors is standard. It's already there. So you can't have somebody who is not eligible to be a vice chancellor being appointed. How vice chancellors are being appointed in Tamil Nadu is a different story altogether. Over the last few years, many of them have gone to jail.
Mr. Tirupati also pointed out that many of them are in jail. So it is actually a big question.
Have gone to jail, and they have, virtually it has been auctioned. And I'm not pointing out whether it is in this government or the previous government, but in Tamil Nadu, over the last 2 decades, the post of vice chancellor has virtually been converted into an auction. And that is one of the reasons why there is some level of transparency which is actually necessary. The state governments, irrespective of whether it is the AIADMK or the DMK, they don't want this. I oppose the center putting its person on this panel and so on. But some kind of regulation on the appointment of vice chancellors must be brought in. Some kind of transparency must be brought in. Otherwise, you're going to have more and more of them ending up in jail.
I think there's a problem also in the articulation of the BJP when it comes to Tamil Nadu, because any move that can be seen as reformative becomes a center versus state problem here.
Is that for me?
Is that to me?
Mr. Tirupati, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, see, first of all, I strongly oppose what Saravanan said, because in Gujarat, all the universities, the chancellor is the governor and not the chief minister, as he said. This we have explained them very clearly. You can always go to any university in Gujarat website. You can see governor is the chancellor. Number 2 is that, see, just because you politicize this issue as Tamil issue or state rights issue, we cannot see. Tamil Nadu is in India. We need to understand this. And every time you have a problem, and now you don't, as rightly put forth by Mr. Sumanta Raman, that since you cannot auction it, since you cannot make money out of it, you are trying to blame BJP government. I don't think it is right. And the university UGC is funding a lot. So we all know how it happened. And we know that we have to correct the system. And for above everything, this is just a draft. And what you have to do, the stakeholders and the public, it is there for another 20 days. 1 month time has been given. You have any problem, you are welcome to give any inputs. And definitely the government or the UGC will definitely view it. The ministry will view it. And why suddenly you are putting this pressure and again you are coming back to Tamil issue, language issue, state rights issue? No, it is just a trap. So let us discuss and then we will decide what is the problem.
Okay, that's Mr. Annadurai, is there a sense that, every issue in Tamil Nadu becomes a threat to federalism because you also don't want reforms, you want the same auction procedure which has been going on for many years. Are you stalling reforms for the sake of politics?
See, the reforms of the BJP are stale ones. They are not reforms. That will take us 100 years back. We demonstrated this with the national education policy. I think with UGC also, if you allow non-persons, non-academicians to be appointed as vice chancellors, all the RSS pracharaks will be filled. They will become overnight, they will all become vice chancellors of all the universities. That is what has happened. That is why we opposed the lateral entry system. This will also face the same fate. But when it comes to the BJP, see, the DMK party is the ruling party and we are the champions of federalism. We are the champions of states' right. No other party, no other regional party has raised such pertinent issues as that of the DMK. So the BJP wants to make every state a glorified municipality and DMK is the party which is fighting it. So whenever even there is going to be a small impingement on our rights, we will fight it. So it may look as though we are opposing each and everything. But if you look at the rationale behind these oppositions, every one of our opposition is valid one, backed by precedents. Right now, I am telling you, the Supreme Court has said the UGC, which is an executive body, using delegated legislation, cannot take away the right of the state governments.
Okay.
So who is this union government? So let us take the contrary. Will the union governments give a member in the committee if the central university is situated in any state? Will they do that?
Okay.
So what special power the union has got?
Okay.
They are also a political party. There are also allegations of corruption against the BJP. Okay. So why can't we assume that they will also indulge in the same thing?
Right. Mr. Gandhi, a lot of experts also pointed out to this fact that there are systemic challenges with the implementation of the UGC rules because we don't really have that kind of quality teachers, or for that matter, we don't have that kind of infrastructure. We just have 15% funding for education, higher education. Now that the budget is coming up, what is required from the center if they want reforms in the real sense?
First of all, there are few very big flaws. Multiple entry, multiple exit cannot be implemented. How can an institution can decide? Suppose a student joins a course in the first year, suddenly leaves. Are you going to send out all the teachers out, all the professors out? Or after 3 years, suddenly a big bulk of students join in? Can you build infrastructure immediately? Can you build a thing? It's not possible at all. So multiple entry, multiple exit never will work. It's only it will go down. Then again, another thing, if you want to build, the center should give a lot of funding today because technology is moving. Can you tell me one AI tool developed in India? We are talking so much about artificial intelligence. Why Indian education is not be able to rate it with US universities or Chinese universities? Everything is getting politicized. No, you should have separate powers for the states which are doing very well. Tamil Nadu is got 6% of Indian population, 6% of Indian colleges are in Tamil Nadu. And remember, we have 80% of literacy ratio. We have the highest enrollment ratio of 47%. And remember, out of top 100 institutions in NIRF ranking, 21 institutions are from Tamil Nadu. So when Tamil Nadu state is doing well in education, why not central government give a consideration to give autonomy? When UGC gives autonomous, when a college or university does, university gives autonomous. Why don't the same thing followed when a state does something good? So this is what the question. No, you should be flexible. You cannot compare Tamil Nadu with something with a lower state. You cannot have the same policy. That's why we brought education in concurrent list. The state government should have equal stake. I'm not saying complete power should not go to state. There should be some checkpoint. There should be an equal power distribution.
Okay. Mr. Tirupati, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, and that checkpoint is the present draft says that the VC, the committee will be this model. And that is the checkpoint, as Mr. Jayaprakash said. And there are a lot of Supreme Court judgment, in this governor issue, this chancellor issue, university versus the government. We all have seen what happened in, West Bengal, what happened in Kerala, what happened in Karnataka. The Supreme Court has dismissed all the claims by the so-called state governments in this appointments issue. And I think it is, again, I am telling you, it is a draft. There is nothing to, raise, or there is nothing to say something. You have the stakeholders or anytime can give their suggestions, and definitely it will be discussed after that, and then it will be followed. But
sir,
to
Mr.
make
Sumant
this
Raman,
political, this is not right.
Yeah, this is not a one-off case because recent disputes have also emerged in other states like Punjab, Kerala. So, in the case of governors, do you think the BJP has not been able to, in some ways, control its own appointees from really, that kind of overreach?
No, I think they are acting on orders. I don't see governors going out of control because at the end of the day, they can be replaced at any point of time. So I don't see this as some governors who have taken unilateral decisions. These are well thought out strategies which are being implemented in state after state which is being ruled by an opposition government. Why don't you see these problems in BJP ruled states where governors are there? You don't see these problems. So this whole thing is to give as much trouble to opposition ruled governments. To be fair, the Congress also did a lot of this when they were in power. So I don't blame the BJP alone for this. But having said that, in the case of Tamil Nadu, this governor's term ended more than 6 months ago. Nobody has even spoken about whether he's going to get an extension, he's going to get another term, some new governor is going to be appointed. Nothing. And on this basis, 6 universities, including the prestigious Anna University in Chennai, are sitting without vice chancellors. So I think that there is a serious problem which nobody is really bothered about. Education is not really the priority here. Scoring political points is the priority for both sides. Let's be very clear, whether it is the center or the state, they are more keen on scoring political points than actually attending to the cause of the education sector in the individual states. That is why education is such a god-awful mess.
Yeah.
And I can't even go down this path of saying Tamil Nadu is better than other states, Bihar and so on. We are not
Can I come
in
in?
competition.
Okay.
We are not in competition with Bihar or Uttar Pradesh, period.
Right. No, Mr. Anandra, even with the need discussion, while I completely believe that social justice has to be at the forefront of any reform, the fact that DMK also uses that and does not really have any reformative measure when it comes to, say, selling of medical seats or college seats, that is a problem, isn't it, sir? Social justice can't be a cover for misgovernance, isn't it?
See, right now, Mr. Jayaprakash had clearly mentioned how Tamil Nadu fares better if 21 universities are in the top 100 universities in the state of Tamil Nadu, then we must be doing something right. We are asking the union government, please take something out of the leaf of the Tamil Nadu's book. We are doing it better. Our universities are better, our colleges are better, our students are better. So please, you don't impose. You have a failed model. Your model is not proved beyond any reproach, but our model is one which is successful. You are able to produce any number of graduates, any number of doctors, any number of H-1B visa holders, any number of graduates who are moving out to abroad to study. So it means we are doing something right. So please allow us to do what we are doing. You are taking all the tax money from us. You will do everything, but you will not allow autonomy. So that is where we are saying, please listen to us. And you are speaking about need that they were auctioning off seats. Now they are doing it legally. At least it was illegal earlier. When they sold it, when they got capitation fee, it was illegal. They could go and arrest somebody. They can file cases. But now that is not possible. because they made it legal. NEET has made collection of capitation fee a legal thing. No college collect capitation fee.
That's
Instead, they are collecting 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs, where the fees used to be 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs.
No, wrong.
That is true.
Wrong.
That is true.
That
You are
is
wrong.
regulated by
You
the
are wrong,
state
sir.
Thank you for joining
You are
me
wrong.
on this
You are wrong.
broadcast. The centre says the proposed UGC reforms also promise to transform recruitment and promotion of standards for academic staff. In fact, they say that this will allow for more flexibility for students, but DMK there opposing them, saying that they are also a threat to the autonomy of the state and also to the country's spirit of federalism. That's all we have for you in the show. More news on the other side.